In August, cybersecurity firm NightDragon teamed up with the New York Stock Exchange to host Cyber Live from Texas, defending the next horizon. Our very own Kristen Scholler was on the ground in Austin, where she spoke with NightDragon Chief Executive Dave DeWalt and the Capital Factory CEO Josh Baer about Texas's status as an innovation hub. Check it out.
NightDragon is securing our world for tomorrow, and that includes through partnerships. Joining me now to talk more about it is Dave DeWalt, CEO and founder of NightDragon, and Josh Baer, CEO of Capital Factory. Gentlemen, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is awesome.
Glad to be here.
Josh, we'll start with you and let's talk about Texas. It is emerging as one of the fastest growing innovation hubs in the country. How do you see investment playing a role in accelerating that momentum?
The landscape has continued to change, but it was really accelerated by COVID. COVID accelerated so many different things, but it accelerated the growth here in Austin and in Texas. And along with that came a lot of venture capital growth. And we're seeing that driven by the talent, the people that are moving here to go build their next business. National
security and cybersecurity, we know, are increasingly intertwined with technology innovation. Dave, why is it so important to invest in those sectors right now?
I always say it's like a perfect storm that we're watching happen around the world. Everybody sees it, geopolitical tensions and all this technology inertia we have with AI and quantum and things that are going on. It's really created a need to secure, not just our digital internet, but all the domains as well. So we have threats and risks in space. We have threats and risk in air and oceans and land. All of this is kind of fusing together cyber and national security into a real new threat environment for not just the United States, but for the whole world. So we see ourselves at NightDragon investing and advising in this world of national security, and you said it best, securing our world for tomorrow. So Josh and I are locked in arm in arm, trying to serve that mission to make the world a better place.
Yeah. Quickly focusing a bit more on Texas, Josh, we've seen its unique ecosystem really thrive. What have you noticed about that in terms of how it compares to other tech hubs?
Most cities have some kind of unique thing about them that makes them special. There's very few cities that can be a generalist where almost any kind of startup can thrive. And Austin really is one of those few cities like San Francisco or New York or others. What's really different is one, the type of people that move here. The influx is here. It's not going the other direction. And so what you see is just super talented entrepreneurial people that could kind of have a lot of choices on where they could go. Even with how complicated everything is today, Texas is winning. People want to be here and the cities here are growing. And it's attracting the talent that you need to drive all these different sectors.
We know that NightDragon and Capital Factory did recently announce a partnership. Dave, as you alluded to, what is this partnership about?
It's really about helping companies go from early stage and seed all the way through its maturity. When you look at other countries around the world and some of our adversaries, you can see a whole ecosystem of building companies, scaling companies, taking them public, getting capital. Here in the United States, we didn't have so much of that in the defense tech or cyber tech space. So by coming together and uniting ourselves, we want to be able to create innovation, nurture that innovation, help scale it with capital, create an environment that's pro-business, pro-defense, pro-national security, do it where the innovation hubs are at. And I agree with everything you said. Texas is amazing watching the growth here, how pro-business and how pro-security it is. So what a world we live in.
What excites you about this partnership, Josh?
We've been doing this for a long time, but we started really small. Really at the very beginning is making really small checks in early stage companies. And now we're able to start working with companies that are bigger. And those companies need a lot more money. We need partners like NightDragon that bring both the capital and the expertise to help them really scale to that next level. Cybersecurity, the growth of the problems that we're facing, you see these really innovative, interesting things that Ukraine and Israel and others are doing. And we look and we say, wow, I can't believe they pulled that off. And then we look here and say, oh my gosh, what if they tried that here? And we are, I think, really susceptible to the drone attacks, to a lot of other things that we're seeing happen in other places that we need to get smart about quick.
I do want to talk about a company that I believe both of you have worked with, and that's Saronic. What has that work entailed?
So Saronic is a company who builds ASVs. These are autonomous surface vessels, boats, ships. And one of the things the United States has gotten kind of laxed at has been the production of military and ocean-based vessels. China's producing hundreds of these a year. Last year, we produced 8 of them. And the ability of Saronic to mass produce a new type of autonomy vessel into the thousands. And the way we did it back in World War II is what America needs. So right here in Austin, they have warehouses, integrated manufacturing, an unbelievable environment to secure our waters and our maritime space.
I want to ask, when it comes to Texas, Josh, specifically for founders who want to build here in the national security space, what is your advice on finding the right investors and partners to grow?
I'd look for firms like NightDragon, like 8VC that helped found Saronic, and others that aren't, maybe have a little bit more experience working with these companies, have seen them roll out, have contacts within the DoD or other places that can be helpful. Those are the first things I'd look for. And fortunately, again, there's a lot of that around here. There's a lot of people to find in Texas that are working on that.
Mm-hmm. What stands out to you specifically about companies and founders in Texas, Dave, and how they are shaping the future of cybersecurity and national security?
I've always had these like acronyms for things. Josh, I really love this. I called them the 3 T's, but I got 4 T's now. Okay, ready? So I always say team, tech, and TAM, and now I'm adding Texas to it. Okay, so team's really important. We know that. Like, you got to have the eye of the tiger. You got to persevere as an entrepreneur. You got to have experience to know how to build a company, how to get capital, how to create an idea, bring it to life. You got to understand how to create technology at scale and hardware and software with AI and with a lot of the advancements. And you got to go after a total addressable market that's big for investors like us to go after. But then you got to have an environment that is really conducive to build these companies. And that's where Texas has stood out. Watching this community and this environment here in Texas be able to produce companies at these scales is very impressive. So I now call it the 4 T's. So
I like it. We'll take it. One more T.
Yeah, one more T. Indeed. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's great to speak to you here in Austin.
Yeah, thank you.